Pathmark is the intelligent tool for website lead generation. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. Pathmark qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50%. Add Pathmark to your website in seconds. Let the AI do all the work and get access to 50% more qualified leads while you keep doing marketing and sales as usual. Check us on pathmark.com. Welcome to today's episode. Let's talk about today's guest. We have Brenna Lenoir from CodeSignal, Senior Vice President of Marketing there. How are you doing today, Brenna?
I'm great. Thank you. Happy to be chatting with you.
Likewise, I'm glad that we're able to connect with you. Someone like you with a lot of experience, definitely. It's nice to have you on the podcast today.
Oh, thank you.
Well, let's kick it off then, Brenna. I'm sure our listeners are tuning in, wondering what CodeSignal is all about. So in your own words, tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, so CodeSignal, we say we're on a mission to help our customers discover and develop the skills that shape the future. And what we mean by that is every company is going to have a level of skills gap, and you're going to hire new employees to close that, or you're going to develop existing employees into the skills that they need to have to make your business successful. We have solutions for both. So we have a hiring suite, but we also have a learning and develop suite. And right now we really focus on those in-demand technical skills. So we serve all types of companies. Every company is a technology company right now, and all of them are looking to develop beginner skills all the way up to advanced AI skills, and we help them do that.
That's awesome to hear, right? I think, like you mentioned, there's a lot of tech companies out there, ever since the pandemic hit, everybody wants to train and get the best. So awesome to hear that. And so then, so that way our listeners to get a good understanding then of CodeSignal, Brenna, what would you say then is that key problem that you guys like to solve for clients?
I think of it as a skills gap problem. So whatever company out there right now is trying to innovate or trying to launch products faster or better meet market need, they're going to need to have a team of people that are able to do it, and they can hire for it and they can develop from within, and we help them with both. So we help them close their skills gaps.
Okay, perfect. And as far as kind of some clients that you guys have, a vertical segment, an ideal ICP, is it only tech companies, or is there other type of verticals that you guys like to go for?
Yeah, I think tech company is a bit of a misnomer, because tech company, you kind of think of the Googles and the Facebook and all the really large tech giants, of which all of them are our customers. But banks are now technology providers. Every app that you have, there's so many things that we don't think of as being a tech company, but they're hiring a lot of technical talent. So really, it's anybody that wants to hire or develop technical talent.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Great to hear that then. And so then say I was in one of those tech companies, right? How would I usually find out about CodeSignal? Is there a top client acquisition channel for you guys?
Yeah, we see, I think we have the mix that probably all companies have. We see a lot of our inbound come from digital advertising, a lot from our SEM programs. We've got a really talented head of our digital programs. And we see a lot come in through content syndication.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Great to hear that. And so that way our listeners who are tuned in, go ahead and visit you. They could always check you out at codesignal.com. What role does a website then play for client acquisition?
The website plays a huge role. And I've never been in an organization where it doesn't. It's always the top performing channel. And then it's bringing in between 50 and 60% of our inbound leads.
Definitely important then. Okay. So then on that note, is there any tools or tips or methods that you would recommend to our listeners as far as some website lead generation?
Yeah, I think it kind of comes down to fundamentals of, if someone's going to land on your website or a landing page or a subset, they have to have a consistent experience between what you're saying that they clicked on to where they're landing. And it's really hard it sounds so straightforward, but I think it's really hard in the day-to-day life of a marketer to keep your arm around everything that's out there and make sure it's consistent and that you're updating all the different places. So really thinking about the user's journey and making sure that you're getting the person to the information that's going to be most impactful to them quickly. is a great way to think about setting up your website and tying that to other campaigns that you're running and ultimately driving the biggest conversions.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much for sharing that with us and our listeners. And well, let's switch gears then a little bit, Brenna, and let's talk about you as a leader. You being the Senior Vice President of Marketing there for Code Signal, what are some key tasks you like to focus on your day-to-day work?
Yeah, I spend a lot of my time right now thinking about, how things are going, how we can make little tweaks to improve things. I think all really great marketing leaders are deep in data. They're thinking about the profit and loss of what they're running. So they're connected to product, they're connected to finance. So I spend a lot of my time communicating across different groups and ensuring that the marketing team has all the information, all the context that they need to be able to make the best decisions about either campaigns they're running, brand campaigns, demand gen campaigns, whether they're doing influencer marketing or helping educate the company on what's going on in product. I spend most of my time making sure that I'm communicating across all these different groups.
Definitely important, right? And it sounds like, yeah, well, full plate there on your hand. So in the between times, Brenna, how do you stay up to date then with all the news in the marketing world as far as trends, news, strategies? Is there a preferred channel that you like to go with?
Yeah, I spend time on LinkedIn kind of looking at what people, peers are doing. There's always a great article in some newsletter I hadn't thought to follow that they put up. So I think that's a great source of information. I've subscribed to a lot of AI newsletters because I think it's important to stay up with that trend and what is the impact for marketing, but what is also the impact for our customers. Yeah, I think that's the bulk of what I do. I get so many newsletters and sometimes I take the time to go through them. Other times, not as much.
Okay, perfect. I mean, newsletters are always nice to have, right? Give you that little insight. Maybe you know it, but there's one or two that like...
Reminders are always good. Yeah, I have a former colleague that used to say, it's the drink 8 glasses of water a day. Like we know it, but sometimes we need the reminder.
Exactly. Awesome. Great to hear that. Let's jump into our next section then here, Brenna, which is our rapid fire question rounds. Then are you ready for them?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, first off then is, what is the last book that you read?
So there's two. I am trying to get through Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. It's incredibly, incredibly useful, particularly for marketers, but it's a long one. But I also just reread David and Goliath by Malcolm Gladwell and fell in love with that book and the whole concept of kind of fight different. So that's my last one.
All right, perfect. Interesting read there. Next up then is, if there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be that one thing that you want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
I think modern marketers are so entrenched in data and we've gotten really good at analyzing data. Demand gen's benefited from all of that, but I think brand marketers still are kind of out there on a limb trying to prove or find ways to prove that their spend and their campaigns are as successful. So if I had a magic wand, I'd give them the same richness of data that other departments in marketing get.
Okay, awesome. Some great speak there. Next then is, if there's one repetitive task that you could automate, what would that be?
Calendaring. I hate finding time on my calendar. If someone could just do that for me, or if it was just easy, it's the most stressful task, and it shouldn't be.
Definitely, right? It's nice to see everything organized, but there's still a little bit more that could be added to it, definitely. Next up then is, you guys just launched a product, right? Which it's a little, tell us a little bit more about Cosmo.
Yeah, Cosmo. I just think Cosmo is the cutest. So it's been a really, really exciting time here at Code Signal. In February, we launched Learn, which is our business to consumer offering for develop. And there's an AI tutor. It's a space corgi named Cosmo. And Cosmo just is the cutest thing ever, and also so incredibly helpful. If you've ever tried to learn something on your own, either in a classroom or like as we do now, you watch a video and you try to retain all of this, it's really easy to get bored or stuck. And so Cosmo helps you practice things. It's very, very hands-on. Cosmo's never going to give you the answer, but he is the most positive. I call him like Ted Lasso. He's the Ted Lasso of tutors. Like he's just so excited for you to learn and helps you every step of the way. So I've been learning Python. I've also been learning data science, and things that I was very intimidated by have been made so approachable because Cosmo's there, and Cosmo can kind of get you unstuck.
Definitely. I mean, what you just mentioned, right? I think at one point everybody wants to try that, the language learning models, right? Learn Python, but nobody knows where to start. So Cosmo's there to help. So awesome to hear that from you, right? And if he's got that Ted Lasso attitude, I'm sure anybody wants to know the thing, right?
Yeah.
And lastly, I mean, Brenna, you do have a lot of experience already in the marketing world, but what is that one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart your journey as a marketer today?
That's a great question. I mean, I think, just the high level advice is stay curious. The best marketers are just naturally curious people. They want to know why, they want to know more, they want to know what makes people tick. More practically, I would go back and tell myself to take stats. Take a statistics class. Like I mentioned before, so much of marketing is data driven these days, and you just have to be really fluent in a language the previous generation of marketers didn't have to worry about as much.
I would totally agree with you, right? When I started marketing, digital marketing, Facebook ads were barely starting. But before that, watching Mad Men, how people were doing, it's kind of hey, this is working. We're seeing results, right?
There's that classic line, like, "Why do you think it'll work?" Like, we never know. We want you to show now.
And today, we precisely go into almost every type of number. The more we have, the better results we're going to get. So some great advice there, Brenna. Well, Brenna, it's been a pleasure to have you on today's episode. But before we do end, I do want to give you the last word. If someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is that one thing they should remember about Code Signal?
Go meet Cosmo. You will be able to learn things you never thought you can.
There you guys heard it. Visit Cosmo at codesignal.com. Discover and develop the skills that will shape the future. Brenna, thank you so much for being on with us. To our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm looking forward to our next episode at PathMonk Presents. Thanks a lot, Brenna.
Thanks, Ernesto.